So today I'm doing a video about my gear that I'm taking on the Appalachian Trail. I'm not really a gearhead, I'm not really that into gear, but you do need gear, and people are probably curious about what gear I take, so I decided to make this video. So this is my backpack. This is a Hyperlight Mountain Gear, I think Sierra backpack. I think it contains 40 liters of space, and it's pretty lightweight. It's made out of Dyneema, which is this really tough, super lightweight material. I got this at Shaw's Hiker Hostel in Monson, Maine, on my 2022 section hike of the state of Maine on the Appalachian Trail. I use these Gatorade bottles for water. I'm probably not gonna filter my water until I get to like out of Vermont. I feel like the water is like pretty clean in Maine and New Hampshire, so I don't really filter the water. I don't really make a big deal out of filtering the water. Once you start getting into like New England, like places like Massachusetts, Connecticut, these are like normal populated areas, so I feel like the water of the streams isn't as clean. But when you're in Maine, it's like the cleanest, purest, it's like mountain spring water, you know, so it just tastes so good. I just don't feel like filtering. I knew other people, when I hiked the AT in 2015, they didn't filter their water, and they didn't really have any ill effects. When I did the PCT, I actually did get Giardia because I was in the desert and I drank some stagnant water. It was really bad. So I'm probably going to buy some kind of filter, but for now, for the state of Maine at least, the beginning of my hike, I'm just going to use these water bottles and just dip them in the streams. So let's take a look what's inside my pack here. So for my food, I have an MSR wind burner, and then it takes these fuel canisters. So this is actually, weighs a pound. It's not like super ultra light, but it's like really bulletproof. Like you just, here, let's put this over here. You just take this thing apart. It's all self-contained. Just slide it out of here. This is the cup where you boil your water, and so you just set this on the fuel canister. All right, first you got to take this off. You set this on the fuel canister. Kind of screws on like this. And then your can hooks on like this, so you could actually set this on fairly uneven ground, you know, in the dirt next to your tent. You could cook, and since it hooks on, it stays upright. And the pocket rocket that MSR makes is a lot lighter weight. It's kind of like this. It comes in, this is like a Chinese knockoff of the pocket rocket. It's like this little tiny stove that comes in this little package, and you just open it up like this, and these things fan out. You screw this on top of the fuel canister, but then you have to get an extra titanium cup to put on there, and it doesn't really balance very well on uneven ground. You have to really make sure the ground is really level, or do it on a picnic table at a shelter to boil your water. And I did a test, and this will boil a cup of water in over 2 minutes if it's on full blast. But this MSR wind burner boiled a cup of water in just over a minute. so it's a lot more efficient, even though it weighs more. And so I like that it comes with its own container that you could boil the water in, that's hooked on, and it has like a built-in windscreen, so if you're out in the wind, it won't blow your flame out. It doesn't have an automatic start, but you just use a lighter and it starts really quick. And then once, say you're like boiling coffee, you could put it in this plastic cup and even have a lid to keep your coffee nice and warm. And so even though I bought this lightweight Pocket Rocket ripoff thing, I'm not going to bring it because it's going to use twice as much fuel, because it takes about twice as long to boil a cup of water, so it's using twice as much fuel. So I'm going to keep this at home or in my car, and I'm going to take the tried and true heavier wind burner. So this fucking thing. Oh, this thing's jammed or something. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know how this goes back together anyway. So this thing is pretty cool. I just like having hot food. Some people that are super ultralight, they go stoveless and they just bring like a little plastic Tupperware container and they put like cold ramen noodles in there or cold minute rice and just put it in their pack, and as they hike all day, it sloshes around and hydrates like a cold, clammy meal of ramen. Like, it just sounds gross. Like, psychologically, I think it's good to have a hot meal before I go to bed, have a hot cup of coffee when I wake up in the morning. So I'm willing to carry this extra pound or so of weight. So for my sleeping system, I have this this air mattress. This is like something I got on Amazon. Another kind of cheap thing. It's not like super lightweight, but it looks pretty. I tested it out and it's pretty comfortable and durable. And I might get rid of some of this extra packaging to save weight. So you just kind of blow this up, and this will be my sleep system. This will be like the mattress part of my sleep system. I'm not going to blow it up right now. But one thing I like about it is it comes in this package that you could fill up with air. Just fill this package up with air, and it becomes kind of a pillow. I think actually what you do is you roll it up and seal it, and then blow it up with this thing. And then you have like your own little pillow. I might put like some extra clothing around it, make like a little pillow. So I thought this was kind of neat. So once again, it's like a cheap thing I got on Amazon, not super light. So that's my sleep system. Part of my sleep system. I bring a first aid kit. I'm gonna put like Band-Aids in here, you know, maybe ibuprofen. I have to restock it. This is what I've had for a while. But I'll probably bring like a survival, one of those survival metallic looking blanket things, you know? I don't know, it seems like I got some bug repellent. This is going to be really important in Maine. Got some 100% DEET, Uncle Ben's. I got some other crap in here I don't really need, like matches. So I've never really had too many injuries on the trail. Like, mostly, I haven't really gotten blisters. I might get like abrasions in my legs, maybe in my hands, need a Band-Aid once in a while, but it's probably good to have some first aid stuff, like maybe some Band-Aids, maybe some like bug repellent, you know, some ibuprofen or something. But not that worried about that. is I have a titanium spoon I'm gonna bring, and this is gonna be my food bag. This is like I think like a 3-gallon bag. I'm gonna bring a couple of these, and I'm gonna resupply every 3 days and put about 3 days worth of food in here. Here's my puffy jacket. I had this on the original through hike of the northern half of the Appalachian Trail in 2015, and it kind of stores inside its own pocket. And so I put this on when it gets cold. I'm going to be hiking starting in June 24th, so it's really not going to get that cold, but maybe sometimes in the morning when I'm around camp it'll be a little chilly. But probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some warmer gear in a box ready to go for when I start hiking into October, November, and have somebody mail it to me on the trail. But here's my puffy jacket. It kind of brings back, kind of nostalgic about this. Kind of brings back memories. Might even be too fat to wear this. I have to rethink it. Yeah, I'll probably lose weight by the time I have to really wear this. These are kind of cool. It's like a down jacket. It's fairly warm. It's kind of like I said, I'm kind of nostalgic because I've had this thing for 10 years. And then I have this nature hike tent. This is like really not ultralight, but another cheap Chinese product I got on Amazon. The reason I like this tent is because it's self-standing and I don't use trekking poles. So some tents save weight by being put together with trekking poles, but I don't use trekking poles. So I like a nice self-standing tent. This is a 2-person tent, and I've tested it. I've done the entire state of Maine with it. I've camped around the Montana area, Helena, Montana area. So I've been dry inside rainstorms and comfortable. There is more ultralight tents that you could spend like up to $1,000 or more on. I got this for like $120 on Amazon. It weighs 4 pounds, so it's not ultralight, but it sets up really quickly. It's freestanding. It's a 2-person tent, so I have enough room to like bring my backpack inside the tent and lay out all my gear and like lay out everything I need and just kind of plan my day, look at my AWOL guide, and look and see what the next day is going to bring. I like just having all my gear in my tent with me and having it be completely dry. Some of the real small ultralight tents, they have like a vestibule where you put your backpack outside. I don't really like doing that. I don't like 1-person tents because I feel like I'm in a coffin. I also don't like ultralight tents that have a super high peak for some strange reason right in the middle where your belly button would be, where you're laying down. I don't know why you need to have this huge peak like in the middle of your body. I like to have it high up near my head so I don't feel like I'm in a coffin. So I'm willing to carry the extra weight to have like a bulletproof, super easy to set up, dry tent. So I split, to pack it down, I took the poles out and I put them in a pocket right here in the back of my backpack just to make it pack easier. So I mean, it's not like a super heavy tent. In 2015 when I did the Appalachian Trail, I actually had like a much heavier tent. Like they had like a Coleman 3-man tent that I bought from Walmart. Everybody made fun of it. It was like a huge heavy tent, and the more people picked on me about it, the more stubborn I got about it. But this is kind of like the modern day version of that almost, but the technology has gotten a little more lightweight, even though you get a much lighter weight tent. You can get like a tent that weighs a pound. But a lot of these ultralight tents, you have to really like fiddle with them and just adjust these different strings, and you got to have it set up in just the right area. like this tent can go in pretty much any area because it's freestanding. You do have stakes and ropes that you steady it with, but you don't even really need that. You could just set it up without using any of the ropes or the stakes and just have a freestanding tent. If you're doing it like in the dark and it's raining or something, you want to get it set up real quick, you could just set it up like that and be done with it. So that's my tent. It's kind of not ultralight, like I said. This is my rain gear. These are Frog Togs. I threw away the pants because I'm never going to wear rain pants. I find that when it does rain on the Appalachian Trail, when you're hiking in the summer, you just get wet and then you get dry. You know, it's like you're just gonna, no matter what you do, you're gonna get wet. Like if you have a big, like a super waterproof rain poncho or a really waterproof lightweight rain jacket that's once again pretty expensive, you're gonna sweat because they're not breathable. This actually is cheap. I got this for like 20 bucks, and it's kind of a fairly waterproof, breathable material, and it keeps you like fairly dry, and because it's breathable, you don't get super sweaty. And it seems like the best kind of trade-off, best compromise to be, you know, somewhat dry, somewhat comfortable, but also breathable. And like I said, you're gonna sweat and get wet anyway, and then you're just gonna have to dry off when you get to a shelter and make a fire or get huddled up in your tent. I mean, it's just something you go through. You're wet, you hike, and then the rain stops and you kind of dry out eventually. It's just, you're hiking in the summer, it's not really that big of a deal. So that's my rain gear. And then I have my Marmot sleeping bag, which I've had probably for 10 years. It's not down, it's like synthetic. Might have lost a little bit of its loft, but it's pretty good. I've used it this summer, or this past summer. It's like a 20-degree bag, which is pretty much warm enough for hiking like 3 seasons, you know, like I'm gonna start June 24th, so it's already well into summer, and I'm gonna hike through the summer and the fall and into the late fall, probably finish my hike around November or late November, early December. By that time, I'm gonna put in a box to get mailed to me this wool sleeping bag liner from Big Agnes, which is actually very thin and lightweight, but pretty warm. I might get this mailed to me as I approach the fall, which I'll be down south, so it won't be that bad, but it might be cold in the highlands of Virginia or like the Smokies as I head into the fall. So I might get this mailed to me, but I'm not going to bring it on my initial hike. And then I have these like headlamps. I don't really know a lot about headlamps. I'm not really that into night hiking, so I'm probably only going to use them around camp if I'm ever up late and have to go to the bathroom or something. So I got this headlamp that can be charged with a cell phone charger, which is kind of cool. It's got a bunch of extra, like this container thing I'm probably not going to bring just to save weight, but I might bring this little charger thing. This is actually pretty powerful, but like I said, I don't night hike, so I'm not that worried about it. This one's like simpler and lighter, so I'm not sure. I'll have to figure out which one I'm going to bring. Also, I'm going to bring a AWOL guide. I don't know, where did I put that? Take a look here. here it is right here. This is the, I'm bringing this for kind of partly nostalgic reasons. This is just this little pocket guide to the Appalachian Trail. It has all the elevation. Tells you, like, as you're hiking along, like what the elevation will be. And it has all the different waypoints written down. So if you're going southbound like I am, you just start in the back at Maine and you read it backwards. Like, for example, it'll tell you, like, you know, what mountains you're going through, how many roads you're crossing, like where all the lean-tos are, where you cross a road and you can hitchhike into town, like what you can find in that town, like where are the hostels, where are the grocery stores, you know, different points of interest. And like the Graham weenies that are just really, really concerned with being super ultralight wouldn't carry this, especially now because there's all these phone apps. But when I'm hiking, I don't like to always be on my phone. I like to be in the present moment, be in the here and now, experiencing nature. So I kind of like this kind of old school way to do it, to bring this AWOL guide. So that's going to be my navigational tool. There is a very popular app it used to be called Gut Hook. Now I think it's called Far Out. And it's basically a similar thing, but it's an app on your phone. I am going to bring my cell phone. I'm going to bring an external battery, make sure it stays charged up, because I'm going to do like little video updates like this from the trail, but I don't want to just be on my phone, like on social media all the time. I'm going to try to just have more of like a wilderness experience. So anyway, so that's my basic setup for my thru hike, if anybody was curious.